Hello all and welcome to Wow Crochet yet again for another tutorial. My name is Mary and in today's tutorial we are making these gorgeous little scrunchies. I know, right? Gorgeous. Now these two are exactly the same, but this one here is your traditional scrunchie where it's crocheted around the elastic band and hidden inside there. These ones here are actually just crocheted on the elastic band. So yeah, very easy. Gorgeous little scrunchies. You will need your 4.5mm hook, you will need your darning weaving needle, and you will need your scissors. The yarn I used today was the second yarn I used today. I'm sorry, I started with the second colour. Sorry, I started with this one here. Yes, that is a Fiddlesticks yarn. It's an anti-pilling yarn. It's 8-ply. It's okay. First time I'm using it, so I'm really quite happy with it. The other yarn I'm using today is a Bendigo Woolen Mills wool, the pure wool, the luxury wool for these two here. I'm lying, this one here. This one here was from our recent Hexagon blanket leftover yarn, Karen Cakes. So that's an acrylic yarn, complete acrylic. Or it might be half acrylic and half something else. That's pure wool. And that here is, I'm not really sure because I've never used it. Let's have a look, see. I'll tell you in one moment when I find the details. It's made in Turkey, that's a bonus. There it is, 100% anti-pilling acrylic. I know, right? Gorgeous. And you know, they're fine. They're great. I love them. I love wearing elastic bands anyway, so wearing a scrunchie just makes your hair look gorgeous. So I'm not going to talk anymore. We're just going to get started on our scrunchies. Don't we love them? Okay, so let's get started. Alrighty, we have the two size elastic bands. One is smaller than the other, one is completely different than the other. Okay, so we're going to use the larger size and we're going to use the yellow wool for this particular one. So pop your hook through your elastic band, pull a loop through like so, grab your tail end, pass it over and chain one. And chain one is a yarn over your hook, pull a loop through, give it a tug. All right, now we are making this one here, by the way, the scrunchy curly one. All right, so what we're going to do, this is the larger of the two, so I'm going to be putting in quite a few single crochets. So we'll start off with the first single crochet, and a single crochet is yarn around everything. Pull up a loop, you should have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over your hook and pull the loops through. Pop your hook in, pull up a loop, and a single crochet between the 2 loops. Okay, we're going to do the same, and as you can see I'm working over that tail end. You don't need to, we're going to weave it in as well anyway, so let's just keep going. Okay, how many have we done? 3? 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm going to stop working on it. It's better when we don't have to work over it. 4, 5, better now, isn't it? 6. Now you can hold it the way you like. 7, 8, 9 and 10. Keep going, we're going to work our way right into 50, okay? All right, we have 40 at the moment. Keep going. 41, 42. Don't forget you can keep, scrunching your little work over. 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and 50. Okay. Now, have a look-see at your lacquer band. If you can see a large amounts of your elastic band through this, then you may need to do a few more stitches. But they're going to be covered by all of this anyway with this particular one, so I'm not really worried. This elastic band here is exactly the same size as that. Okay, so I'm not really worried. I did 50 in that one, so there you go. You're going to pop a slip stitch in that first stitch right there, pull that loop through. Okay, now we're going to chain up 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Then we are going to go in the back loops of every stitch we come to. Okay, so see these loops here, you've got that 1 and then the 2. We're not going to go in that first one right there, I'm going to go in that back one right there. So let me just pop one in for you. See right there at the back, and you are slip stitching, which is pulling the loop through there and pulling the loop through to the stitch on your hook. Yes, and you are chaining 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you are going through that back loop on your next stitch with a slip stitch, pull the loop through there and the loop through to the stitch on your hook. Jump into your next back loop right there with a slip stitch, chaining up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and these are the loops you're popping it in, those loops right there. Not the front ones, just those back ones right there. And you're doing that all the way across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pop it in your back loop right there. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's your back loop yet again. All right, so I'm not going to let you sit here and watch me do them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What I'm going to do is send you off on your own, do all of your back loops until you get to, say, the last 3 or 4, and I will meet you up there, okay? All right, here we are at the end of the row. I have about 3 or maybe even that 4th one that's snug in there with that one left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you pop it in the back loop that you've been doing all along. There's nothing different here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There will be in a minute, but not right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, now this is where your first stitch was right there. See that one right there? That was your last, that's your first. Now we popped that first one through both the loops because we did the slip stitch. So yours truly is going to pop that first one just in the front loop right there instead of the back loop, okay? With a slip stitch, pull that loop right through. All right, and now what we're going to do is going to chain up your 5 again firstly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're going to pop our hook through the front loops of our work. There's your first one. Pass your slip stitch through like you would with the back loop, but we're doing it with the front loop. So we're chaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it might help, if you like, to pop your stitches at the back because you can actually see that front loop right there. Pull the loop through and pull it through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's all your work. Pulled at the back. There's your stitch in front. Pop your hook in through that stitch. Pull the loop through and do your 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's your next stitch right there. A little bit tight mine. Okay, I hope you didn't do yours as tight as mine. I find the tight single crochets make a better look around your band, but hopefully yours isn't as tight as mine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's your next stitch right there. There, okay. pull your loop through, pull your loop through, chain your 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it there and I'll just show you exactly what you're doing. So you can see there's the ones at the back, and there's the one at the front. Now the loop you're putting it through is that particular one all along there now. Okay, so mine are a little bit tight, may even pay for you to separate them a little bit whilst you're doing it. All right, so this is where we are up to right here, and you see that line right there? That is the front loops. Now I want you to crochet into all of those front loops, which is that one line, all the way until you get to the part where you don't see the line anymore, which is right there, okay? Because that is where we got up to. So get to the last 2 little stitches and wait for me there. Okie dokie, we have 2 stitches left. We are going to do, it's a little bit fiddly, see one right there and one right there, okay? Right there, that's your first one, or my first one, my second last one I should say. Pull that loop through, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're on that second last one, the very, very last one I should say, not second last one. Little tight, pull that loop through and pull it through, chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now you're probably thinking, where do I put it? All you need to do is pop your stitches back, pop it through your loop of that very first stitch that you made. Okay, right there, a little bit tricky, but it's there. Pull that loop through, and then all you do is pull up a loop, give it a cut, and you're done. We're just going to quickly weave in the ends. So grab your darning, sewing, weaving needle and get ready to weave in. All you're doing is just splitting your work there. You are going to weave it in the split work right inside all those stitches. You know the single crochet stitches that you first did? That's where you're putting your thread, right through there. And it won't even be noticed. This was the top thread, by the way, your top one, not the one underneath that we first started with. And it doesn't really matter where you put it, as long as you really hide that tail. Try not to get it through your elastic band. If you put it through an elastic band, that's going to break when it pulls, you know, when you stretch your elastic band. So I can feel that going through the band. So I just have to lift it a little bit, pop it straight through the thread only. You'll put it through twice, 3 times, or whatever suits you. And sometimes I leave it loose and have the tail in there. You can't really tell because it's in the middle. But this very first tail right here, that can be visible. So we are actually going to make sure that's hidden completely. Okay. And it's a bit of a tricky one, this one. Now we did crochet, or I should say I did, crochet over it a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to pass it through all thicknesses through to the other side. Yes, and then we're just going to weave, because this is actually your front of your work that we crocheted. I'm going to pass it through to the back. It doesn't really matter because it'll just hide in here. Okay, so all you're doing is sewing it in and out of some of those threads there. Your single crochet threads that we first did. Again, and that's all you're doing. So in and out and in and out. You can't see me doing it, but it's happening. Oh, that's a bit thick. Try not to get it in the elastic. I just felt that go through the elastic. You don't want that. Just through your thread. All right. And that is your very first scrunchie done. Yay! How cute is that? Gorgeous! And there's your tool. How cute are they? And so, you know, there you go. That's that kind. And now we're going to do the traditional kind. Yay! The traditional kind, I'm going to be using an acrylic yarn, Fiddlesticks. I bought that only last week, actually, with Unwind Craft Cafe. I might have been the week before. I can't even remember now. It's a long time ago. A week passes so quickly these days. So yeah, this is 100% acrylic. The yarn I just used was pure wool, so we are going to try the acrylic. See if I can grab a thread without making any yarn vomit. And I made yarn vomit. That's always the way. Give me a second. All right, and we are going to use our very small lacquer band with that little metal thing that usually hurts your hair. When you put this on, that won't happen. All right, so we're going to do a quick slip knot around our finger like so. Pop our thread halfway over, pop the back one all the way over, grab your hook. You know this, you did it before. Okay, now we're not putting it in our elastic band first. First thing we're going to do is chain up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, now we're going to pop it in our elastic. Pop it through to the other side, and there you go. That's what you should have so far. Let go of your elastic. Now slip stitch to your top chain, pull that loop through and pull it through. So all you've done is slip stitch. We're not going to crochet over that end, we're just going to keep going. So we're chaining 1. Now we're doing a half double crochet in the very same stitch that we slip stitched into. So that's yarn over your hook, pop your hook in the same space, yarn over your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over your hook, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Okay, now you're going to do it on into the next stitch. Now you can put it anywhere you like. If you wanted to put it through both the loops, you can. See both those loops on your hook right there. If you split that, that's 2 loops, or you can pull it through 1, it doesn't matter, and pull the loop through, and there you go. That's number 2. Yeah, that tail end is a little bit annoying, isn't it? Sorry guys. Yarn over your hook, pop your hook in the next stitch, and there's number 3. Yarn over hook, pop it in the very next stitch, and there is number 4. And again in your next, whoops, which is 5, and in your next, which is 6. All right, so where we are is here. There's still one more right there. That's sort of it's the same one they're actually in. That very first one that we were in, we're going to pop it in there anyway, because we want to fill up that space and not have a gap. Now, instead of slip stitching like we did with the previous one, we're just going to jump into our very first half double crochet with a half double crochet. Like there's the top of the stitch right there, and you're just going to do a half double crochet in there. 1, and then you're going to do 1 in your very next one. And what you're seeing is 2 loops. That's where you're putting your hook through now, 2 loops. And you are doing that all the way until your piece starts growing. Okay, now it's going to curve. That's what you want. Okay, just keep going. Just keep going. It's kind of going to look like a sausage while you're working. I know that sounds weird, but that's what you want. Okay, there's no counting. You don't have to do any counting at all. You just keep going and going and going. All right, easy so far, super easy. Initially starting, it's a bit awkward, but once you get going, you will be able to work it out easy. There's your next one, and so on. Your next one. Okay, initially I would have done 9 chains or 10, but this is the smaller elastic band. I should have mentioned that earlier. If you have a larger elastic band, you probably should have done 10, 9 or 10, but the smaller one just consists of less stitches, which is a bonus, because you know we're going to fly through this now because we have a smaller one. If you want to stop and have a look, see, that's what you're getting. You're getting that sausage look. All right, so it's crocheting around. It's going to take you a little while to get these stitches on, but that's what you're doing. All right, It's good fun. I love this yarn. It's actually, it's an anti-pilling yarn too, actually. So I didn't think I'd like it, but working with it it's gorgeous. It feels gorgeous in my hands. And the bonus is we're going to be using this for blankets as well. So if we start our blanket, or when we start our blanket, I will pop the links in the description box down below when the blankets are started. Won't go in right now because we're still new and the blanket hasn't started yet, but we're using the same yarn for the blanket. I really love it. It's gorgeous. It's actually a blanket for newbies, beginners. That is coming up on our Wednesday live. Okay, so we'll be able to discuss the blanket on the Wednesday live. So it'll be a beginner's blanket, however, anyone can do it. You don't have to be a beginner to do it. Okay. I'm going to stop in a minute and you can have a look-see, and then I think right now you can head off on your own and continue doing your half doubles until you get to, or as many as you can until you get to the other side of your elastic band. And I will meet you back here in, I don't know, 6-7 years. I mean, 6 or 7 seconds. I'll meet you back here in a moment. All right, this is how far I've gone. Now, I didn't count my rows, but you're looking at about 30, maybe 40 rows, and even still, it's not enough. If you are wearing that and you are stretching it, your material is not going to stretch very well. Okay, so I would suggest really packing it in. So I'm going to do a little bit more, fill in the rest, just push in as much as you can because you want to be able to stretch it and not have to see your elastic band. So continue to fill in a bit more, pushing all of your work, making sure it looks like it's really bubbled up here. Okay, so that when you do sew it up together, it'll stretch out like normal. All right, so push as far back as you can, keep going. Okay, so just keep going and going until you get to your desired width. It's getting really awkward to hold anyway, so I'm going to finish up in a minute. You do want to keep going until it's solid. All right, easy. It's very basic. It just takes a while, it's like anything really. Okay. Beautiful. All right, I think I'm going to leave it there. What we're going to do now is, wait a minute, no, firstly we're going to make that straighten up. Straighten it all up a little bit. Oh, I've gone too far now. What have I done? All the elastic. Okay, there we go. All right, here we go. There it is. All nice and straight. I suggest just pulling a loop through like so. When you're done, it's already, maybe make sure you leave a nice long tail. Don't cut it yet until you leave yourself a nice long tail. There. Pull that loop all the way through, and you're wondering why? Because we're going to now sew that piece in together. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our little sewing, darning, weaving needle, thread it. I love this yarn so much. I don't know, it's funny because I didn't think I would when I first bought it, but I'm really enjoying it. Okay, so what we're going to do, just go back the other way first, just get back into that other section. Oh dear, what have I done? I've pulled the loop too far. All right, now you want to sew these two together. Now, if you're anything like me and very fussy, you'll find a way to sew it in so it's from the inside, but it doesn't really matter. However, yours truly is going to just pop a thread through to the inside of your work just for fun. All right, and then I'm just going to find a little top stitch on the other side of our work there and pop it from the outside to the inside just for fun. All right, so it will close up like that and you won't see the thread as much anyway. Eventually you're going to have to go the other way. So it doesn't really matter, but you can go from the inside like that if you like as well. So popping both your sides together like so, and you can just go from the inside through. And what we'll do as best we can, and then the last few stitches you can actually go from the top, like from the outside. But for now, oh, don't do what I just did. Just went right around my work then. All right, but for now we can do it like this. Just being fiddly with our little elastic band in the middle there. Doing the best you can. And we're going to turn it around. Whoops, I just went through that top stitch there. Here we go, through there. We're going to be turning it around as we work. All right, so I've already sewn up some of it there. And now I'm just going to grab that lacquer band and move it a little bit. So just going to be turning things around as we work. There we go. Fiddle with it as best you can and just keep going in and out, in and out. If it paid for you to go the other way where you're going from the outside in, even better. I just split that thread there, didn't I? Okay, easy, easy. In fact, what we're going to do that. We're going to go through the outside. All right, like that. Oh, don't get it caught on that. And there you go. That's all you're doing. Going through like so. I think it's a lot better than going from the inside. All right, in and out. Like so. Easy, easy. Through as many thicknesses as you like. Oh, I've nearly filled it all up. I think I have, but I'm going to go through it a couple of times because, you know, I like to make sure, you know me, I'm pedantic that way. Oh, yes. You do know me, don't you? There you go. Just moving your work around so you can go through further thicknesses if you like. I wouldn't stress too much now. I think we've gone through heaps of times. But what we will do before we continue is we are going to make a little knot here. All right, twice or once, whatever suits you. Now the best part is with this tail, I probably didn't need such a big long tail, you can actually pop it through to your actual work. Like so. Yes. All right, pop it through there and just give it a cut like so. And then when you pull it, it just disappears inside your work. Ta-da! So there you go, guys. You have two gorgeous scrunchies. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share and do all those wonderful things that you do for me. And all I can say right now is, guys, ciao for now.